And thank you for checking out the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This week we talk about pop culture. We also talk about, with the question of the week, we talk about Chris Rock. Was he the bully with his new Netflix special? And also, it's National Women's Month, so we are giving our shout out. We are doing the Mount Rushmore of female comic book or pop culture characters. That and so much more. Stay tuned. You've come to the right place. Boys and girls, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Test. What do you call it again? Convincing idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. They call me the Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And hidey ho there, neighbors. I am Nick, and I'm a millennial. And if this is your first time joining us, allow me to introduce us and what we do. We are Convincing Idiots. We are a podcast of three friends representing three different generations who get together weekly to discuss nerd and pop culture going-ons about the world. Each and every week, that's right, you can find us here wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you have not already done so, we would like to invite you to please rate, review, like, subscribe, all of those fun things that you do for all of your social media accounts to our social media account. If you would like links to those, you can find each and every one of them in which we are on our Convincing Idiots link tree. Just go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots link tree, LINKTREE, and you will find links to all of our social media platforms as well as places that you can listen to our lovely voices each and every week. There is also a link on there to our merch store, which is now up and running, so feel free to drop by there, check out what kind of goodies we got for you. There's also other ways you can help the show, and our website has all that information and so much more. You can get there by going to convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So be sure to stop over there, and we look forward to seeing you on the interwebs. We're also on Boss Code Media. Boss Code Media is another place you can find us. So Boss Code TV on your smart TV or your smart device. You have already downloaded the app, so when you pull up Boss Code Media, you find all kinds of wonderful content from ourselves, our friends over at It Came From Gen X, and other original content creators. So as I mentioned, three friends, weekly podcast. Here we are. Check. All three are here.
Systems are a go.
That's right. So, Brian, how have you been, my good friend?
Good. It was a stressful week at work, quarter end, all that business. That's right. But nice to be here with you guys. And
being the Podlander is a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah, a lot of extra souls to consume, quotas and so forth. Last weekend was very nice. Actually had some nice quality time with Allie and Mr. Dean and the lovely Miss Megan as well. So we went to
Mr. Dean.
Mr. Dean. It's like Mr. Bean.
That's right.
but less funny.
Went to the Akron Art Museum in Akron, Ohio, where we all are, and
nice.
Checked out some culture for a while, and then
We're
we wound up going.
Bitches. That's what we are.
That's right. That's right. And then we wound up going to 6 breweries after that.
Yeah, we
Whoa, Jesus. Nice.
did. Well, explain to
Yeah.
them the Summit County Brew Path.
Yeah, there was a nice annual event. They launched it in 2017. So this area really has there's a lot of microbrews have cropped up all around the Northeast Ohio area very quickly over the years, like many areas, I'm sure, across the United States, but certainly around here. And as a way to encourage local residents to go check out the local breweries and support local business, they came up with this very good idea, the Summit County Brew Path. And you get a passport book. And in the book, there's different breweries in the area that when you go there, you don't have to even buy alcohol if you don't want to. You just have a food or just buy something there to support them. Of course, we usually buy a beer. And then you get a stamp. And then if you complete the book, then they had different prizes they've tried over the years. But the last few years, they have like an annual event in downtown Akron where Brewpath
There's 21 of them on the path.
Okay. Yeah,
You
very
gotta
good.
complete
You have a
it to
year
get
to do it.
That's
Yes.
a year. Okay.
Yeah.
When
to
does
go to
it start?
the
I've always wanted to do that. When does it start?
It's actually started early this year.
Yeah.
It was like 2 weeks
It's out
ago
now.
it started.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get a book for free. Any participating place will give you a
If you
starting
didn't block my number, I
passport.
would have texted you and had you meet us out there.
Oh, sure you would have. Absolutely. I have no doubt.
Maybe I did. You just didn't get it.
Mhm. Sure.
No, but it's nice. There's some nice breweries around through here, so it's like I said, just a way to encourage you to get out. And
Nice.
yeah, there's been some that I've tried that I may have not normally went to because it just you get in your routines, that type of thing. But I will go to more frequently because I was kind of forced to go there, if you will, nicely, through the program. So it's a very good event. So yeah, we got on a roll for sure on Saturday.
It was a fun night.
It was fun. We got back. Yeah, it was a good day. And then we got another stamp last evening with Dean and Megan at the Hop and Frog in Akron
yes.
as well. So very nice dinner and great beer and good company there. So yeah, overall pretty good week overall. Good balance of stress with a nice quality time with friends and good beer and all that good stuff. So
Nice.
yeah. How were you, Dean? Obviously, you did some of the same things I did, but
Yeah, it was a great time hanging with you and Allie. We had a really good time. The four of us went out and toured the house down, painted the city red, if you will.
Sure.
No, it was fun. It's always a good time. The Brew Path is a really cool idea and event. We were one away last year, but the one brewery that had just really super weird hours, we just couldn't make it to. And then they're not on the Brew Path this year, probably for that reason. But
They're the one brewery that kept everybody from getting their shirt or glass or whatever.
But yeah, it was a good weekend. All right. Let me explain to you guys what happened before this started. Recording this podcast tonight. I get my setup. I set up my light and my camera, and I put whatever I said head is going to be up there for this week, and then I go to the
Where's the
fridge.
set heads at, woman?
I do. I have a rack of them. Like some people have ties. I have busts.
Mm-hmm.
I picked through. But I went to the fridge to get my beer that I'm going to drink. And I have all these different random type beers. Actually, I was sent a box, a bunch of random beers, and they're all in the bottom of the fridge. So I get down there and I see the ones I want. They're in the back. They're in the back. So I have to reach back there, and they're all, in their little holding case. And so when I pulled on it, everything came forward. And not only did all the beer spill out, but it also broke the shelf on the door. A beer popped open in my face, so it's spraying in my eyes. And as I'm trying to reach for it, and now I'm being soaked with beer, and I pick it up and try to get to the fridge, and I slip and fall on the kitchen floor, and it's like a cartoon character with my feet slipping and sliding across the kitchen floor, trying to get to the sink. And then when I did throw it in, then it starts spraying my forehead, so my hair's soaked in beer. My eyes I'm covered. My socks. I have beer in my socks.
How many
and
casualties were there? How many beers lost?
It was just that one.
Oh, really? All?
But
What?
he was a sniper. Like it was just like I said, it was a series of unfortunate events, a cartoonish series of unfortunate events. But yeah, and then I got to finally, when I'm in this weird angle, stretched up with my hand in the sink, and I'm on the floor. I look up and Megan's damn near falling over laughing. So at least somebody got to enjoy my misery. I don't mind misery as long as I can be laughed at. As long as somebody can enjoy it and use it, and she did. So
Brian. She was nice enough to send Brian and I a text saying that you had lost the fight with a beer and you would be running late. So when she said a beer, she literally meant a beer. It was just one. Wow.
Yeah, it took down the fridge. It took down me. Took down a bunch of other beers.
Quite a catastrophe.
It was. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods.
Nice. Well, I have not been pelted with beers. So all of the beers in my fridge have been very well behaved so far. Although I'm no stranger to that. We've, especially in the early days of this podcast, trying to figure out the cord length to my device and having a beer up here and opening one. And
you used to drop and break stuff all the time.
So it's dropping crowlers of beer and stuff, and there was beer all over behind the bar here. It was a mess. So no, I definitely can relate to that. But no, we had a pretty good weekend. We spent a lot of the day on Saturday at the school. Both of my children actually are in DI, Destination Imagination, which is a fun little thing. Carter did it for a couple years there too. He was in their group as well. But they, it's this thing where they basically work together. All the group of kids, they get together, they create a little skit that they work on. They do everything themselves. Like they receive direction and guidance from an adult coach of the team, but they make all the props by themselves. They come up with the entire script by themselves. They practice it and act it out by themselves, the whole 9 yards. So it's really cool. And this is Oliver's first year doing it as well. So his team was judged, but they weren't really in competition. They're too young yet to compete or advance or whatever. But we had a good time. They both performed their skits. They did their little instant challenge things where the kids have to kind of think on their feet and come up with solutions on the fly to problems with a certain set of materials, just different fun things like that. But Lane's team last year got first place and advanced to states. And then once again this year, first place again, back-to-back years, going back to states. So congratulations to Lane and their team. It was a good time. So it was very cool to see them. At the end they do a big banquet where all the different schools, all the that are there, come in, and they have a big thing where they pass out medals and trophies and announce who placed where and all that stuff. So it's definitely cool to see him kind of in his groove with that stuff and get a little taste of success. Find out what it tastes like. So yeah, it was.
You can't tell him.
No, I can't. And that's the fun thing about living vicariously through him. Is now I can almost imagine for myself what it would be like to be successful at something. So it's
how embarrassing was it when he walks in the bathroom and you're holding his trophy, just giving a speech into the mirror. He just slowly closes the door. Nope.
I can't believe I just won the Grammy for Best New Artist. I can't. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to begin. Yeah, no, it's but it was cool. It was a good time. So nice little weekend.
That's nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Brian, go ahead. You were about to. Actually, you were probably. I was going to
you
go for the segue into what we're doing. Pop culture news and headlines. I was going to ask, do you have anything that maybe we missed throughout the week? You want to inform us and the listeners and viewers?
Like idiot reviews, you mean?
Is that what we're doing first? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens, Max.
Yes.
First time here?
The beer is soaking his memory a little bit.
He's concussed. Yeah, slightly with it.
Yeah.
It was horrifying. I was traumatized, all right? I'm not in the right state of mind.
Yeah, so we'll get into some idiot reviews. There's a new, it's not a new movie, but it's new to Netflix from 2014. I thought it was a new movie, but This Is Where I Leave You. So it's one of their
Saw
top
that in the
streaming
theater.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's where they're one of Netflix's top streaming movies right now. It's pretty star-studded cast: Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, Adam Driver, Jane Fonda, the dude that played MODOK in the movie Quantum Mania, Ant-Man.
You had me at Jason Bateman.
Yeah, a good movie.
Yeah.
So it's basically about the kids. Their father passes away, and their siblings that are all that they don't get along that great. They come home to Jane Fonda's mom's house and have to stay there and celebrate. Is it Shiva? I think it is.
Yeah,
Shiva?
I believe so.
Shiva.
Yeah.
But they have to be in the house
that's a
for
thing,
so many
but
days.
I don't know what they
mourn.
celebrated.
That's okay. They have to mourn the father for a few days and be in the house, and they have to work some things out and this and that. But it's a good movie, solid watch.
Yeah,
pretty good
it's
story.
a heartfelt movie. Yeah, it's definitely a good mix of it's like a serious drama mixed with a good amount of comedy as well. There's obviously great comedic actors in it and stuff. Connie Britton is also in it, and who's the guy that is the neighbor that. Timothy something.
Oliphant?
Yes, from The Mandalorian. Yep. Right,
I really just guessed. That was the first Timothy that popped in my head.
That's why I was like, I'm pretty sure his name's Timothy, but I wasn't even sure about that. Yep.
Right.
Marshall.
I love Timothy Oliphant. That dude's great.
He is.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, if you guys ever watched the Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix.
Oh, the Drew Barrymore show?
Yeah, he's the husband, and he's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
He's very good in this, too.
Okay.
Good role. Yeah.
Yeah, solid movie. So if you're looking for a nice, easy watch, check it out. And we'll talk more about this later, but I watched the Chris Rock special on Netflix. I didn't see it live because we were out at the breweries still, but I did watch it.
The 45th one by the time that came on.
That's right. Selective Outrage by Chris Rock. And we'll talk more about that in this episode. Those are two main things. And then I'm kept up with, I did watch The Mandalorian. I should say that the first episode of The Mandalorian. Good episode, no spoiler, but intriguing first episode, solid, good stuff there. So if you're a fan of the series, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And I'm current on The Last of Us as well. So there's I think 9 episodes in now, and there's one more to go.
Is the finale coming up?
Yes, the season finale is coming up.
It doesn't seem like a second to the last episode. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but this was good. It's had a lot more action than the mall one. More of a but it was good stuff. Worth a watch. That's what I've seen. So. How about you, Nick? Anything you've seen over the last week?
Yeah, I watched a few episodes of it is a travel show. It is called The Reluctant Traveler with Eugene Levy, and it's on Apple TV. Mm-hmm. It is fantastic. It's, like I said, it's a travel show, but it centers around Eugene Levy. They just send him to different places, and upon watching this, I discovered that I am married to Eugene Levy. He has the similar style, travel patterns and styles as Robin. He even begins
and
the one episode saying that if it's too cold out, he's uncomfortable, and if it's too warm somewhere, he's uncomfortable. So he doesn't really like to be outside much or try new things. He's kind of set in his ways in his little bubble. So this is why it's called The Reluctant Traveler, and it's you get to watch him uncomfortably go to new places and try new things and kind of get out of his comfort zone. And it's fantastic. I could probably watch Eugene Levy just read the phone book. So, I mean, watching him travel and go to different countries and experience new things is definitely worth a watch. Like I said, it's on Apple TV. It's an Apple TV original, and I think there are there's like 6 or 8 episodes. I don't know if it's one of those things that they're coming out each week or if they're just all on there or how long they've been out, but all the same, there's a good 6 to 8 episodes up there right now for you to watch, and they're fantastic. So definitely give that a recommendation. We also watched Creed because I wanted to watch the Creed movies so that I could watch the third one.
That might be the first recommendation like you've taken from one of us.
Did you guys recommend Creed?
Yeah, well, like fucking years ago.
Oh, okay. I started watching them because what's his face is in the new one, so I just wanted to watch them.
You're a real
By the way, that's we'll talk about that in a little bit too. I'll maybe lead into that. But anyway, I'll start with Creed. It was as expected. Good movie. You know what I mean? What you're getting into. I mean, coming from someone who's never seen a Rocky movie, I know what they're about. I know what they are, and I understand that this is the continuation of that storyline, or a breaking off of that storyline. I guess I should say a spinoff. But yeah, definitely enjoyed that movie a lot. So both of those are currently on HBO Max. So we've still got to watch the second one. But yeah, the first one was good,
second
solid
one
movie.
is right up there. Like, it's hard to determine which one you like more. Like,
I hope this is not to say that I didn't enjoy this one, but this one was very setting the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to enjoy the second one more. Not that I didn't like this one. It's just it was exactly what I was expecting. You know what I mean? The kind of how he gets down this path and how he breaks in, and certainly the big fight at the end. Spoiler alert, is not this big massive victory, but it's more of a moral victory, as in he can make a career out of this. So definitely looking forward to seeing the second one and subsequently the third as well.
Spoiler alert. There's been, I think they were said, Jordan and Majors were said to that they want to do this whole series of movies together in different genres and different, kind of, because they enjoyed working with each other, and their chemistry, I guess, is so good that they want to continue doing it.
Okay. Which would be incredible, because I've learned as of today that Jonathan Majors is set to play Dennis Rodman in a movie called 48 Hours in Vegas.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
when he left the team for 48 hours?
Yeah, let's make Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan. There you go. That would tie in perfectly.
And was that honestly the 48 hours, or did he do it multiple times? There was
the one infamous trip to where he's like, I need to go to Vegas, I need to blow off some steam, and they had to, Michael Jordan had to fucking go to Las Vegas to get him, to retrieve him.
There was one where it was in the middle of the finals. Mm-hmm. And he skipped out on practice to go to WCW wrestling and performed on their pay-per-view without permission and shit.
Yeah, with NWO, and they're and there he is on fucking TV.
Yeah, and Phil Jackson. I think the story goes Phil Jackson was calling WCW and Eric Bischoff saying, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
and they're
give us our guy back.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you? That's just wild.
You won't see that again. I don't think.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Just that someone would do that. You know what I mean? And I understand.
A wild time.
I understand getting to a place where you'd be burnt out, and you're man, this is a lot of prep, but you don't actually do something. You know what I mean? You deal with
right.
I'm not saying. It all worked out. They got the job done, and Dennis Rodman's Dennis Rodman, but it's just so wild that he actually did something like that, and without any sort of, just full on went on a WCW pay-per-view. It's weird.
Yeah. And the ridiculous that he's still alive. That's the most insane part.
Yeah.
Everything
absolutely.
he did and went through. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get stressed out. I go to Dreamers for 48 minutes.
Sure.
So I understand, but not 48 hours to Vegas. You gotta balance a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I get all stressed out, and I spend I don't know, a good 2 hours just staring in Nick's window at his house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
He knows I'm there. He just won't let me in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wave. I throw him a wave every now and again.
That was not a wave. That was only one finger. Mm-hmm.
When you hold it this way, it looks like a wave.
That's right. You see the elf, Nick?
Cutest little wave.
I don't. I'm just watching a lot of the same shows and stuff like that we've been watching. I feel like there was another. Oh, there was one more movie I watched. It's called The Jacket. It was from 2005 or 7. I can't remember which one. It's got Adrian Brody and Keira Knightley, and we were just laying in bed one night. Robin loved this movie. She loves Adrian Brody, and he is a phenomenal actor. But this was actually something that actually is kind of a good Was that a Venn diagram where all like you've got each of our
The
I'm seeing us-
circles that
that overlap, the space that
yeah.
overlaps. So if you're watching on YouTube, the three of us are, in this little triangle formation. Well, the
Mhm.
area in the middle where all of our boxes touch, that would be the area I think that this movie would fall in, because it involves a little, I don't want to say time travel necessarily, but certainly time leaping. So there's the Dean part.
Okay,
And
I
then
like
very
that.
Twilight Zone, it's a mind fuck. It really is. So a little bit of Twilight Zone element in there. I think Brian would like it. It's weird, and it's one of those ones that, I mean, like I said,
It
well
was a chick
acted.
flick. Is that why you liked it?
That's why. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
the Adrian Brody part was the
Sure.
reason that I'm in there. Yeah, just well done. I don't know if it's like an indie movie. I'd never heard of it before, but yeah, like really well done. It really leaves you thinking afterwards. Basically, this guy exists in kind of multiple realities and finds a way to tap in to jumping from one to the other and kind of redirecting the
That'd be
timeline
sweet.
of life and how it goes. So it was just cool. I mean, that one's on HBO Max.
Again,
as well.
what was the name?
The Jacket. is
The
what it's called.
Jacket. For
Yes.
some reason, I think I've at least heard. I've heard the name.
Yeah,
So,
like I said,
I'll look for
0507, and you probably apparently Robin has loved the movie. She saw it when it came, so you've
That's
probably
probably
heard
where
her.
I've probably seen it
talk
already,
about
and
it
I just
before.
don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, I would recommend that. It's pretty cool. So, but that's about it. Yep.
Good.
So, what about you, Brian? Or I'm sorry, we already did you. Dean, what'd you watch?
We all do, Brian.
We all did, Brian.
All I have to do is close. Anyways, I haven't done much watching of anything. We did. You know what? Come to mention what we did do. What Brian? I think Brian mentioned it. We went to the art museum, so I looked at art. So that's
cool.
That's something I looked at. I did catch the newest episode of The Mandalorian, which was fantastic. Highly recommend. But if you haven't watched it yet, I mean, you're probably not going to. But yeah, I love the first episode. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Shrinking. I'm continuing to watch that. I'm all caught up.
Yep.
Just waiting for the new episode.
I watched the opening scene of this last one a couple times.
I don't recall what happened in that.
Some good stuff to look at in the opening scene of this last episode.
Okay. I don't. What do you want to say? Because I don't remember it.
What's her face is nice to look at in the predicament that she finds herself in at the beginning of the episode with Jason Segel.
Oh, Jessica.
We do this every time. So
We do.
Start the name like Williams.
Williams, yeah, Jessica Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I agree.
Beautiful girl. Yeah. So
Beautiful girl.
yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian, Shrinking, and now we are catching up. We're rewatching the first two seasons of Ted Lasso in preparation for Wednesday, and the new season starting. So that's honestly, I didn't watch any movies or anything like that. So that's about it.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back with some pop culture headlines.
I'm sorry, there is one other thing that I did watch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, it's not technically what I have watched, but it's what I want to watch, and I want to watch You Save Money with Blake Insurance.
There it is.
Because Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located where? Right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free, that's right, I said free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, make sure tell them that the idiot sent you.
All right. Now we'll take a break.
And then Dean can ask if now what's going on in news and pop culture.
That's right. Then we'll come back to pop culture and our Ask an Idiot question of the week around the Chris Rock special. And we're shooting this on Thursday, March the 9th. Yesterday, as we know, gentlemen, was International Women's Day to celebrate and recognize women all across the world. And our main segment this evening, we're going to talk about some of our favorite female superheroes in honor of women in general. So that's right. But first, we'll come back with pop culture headlines right after the break.
Four, three.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots. Not idiot reviews, but pop culture headlines here, gentlemen. One death I want to mention. Okay, and not too much death and destruction this week.
Convincing Idiots, eulogies.
That's right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Obits.
Yeah, just real
That's
quick
a pretty
here.
good deal. I like that.
Guy, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The last founding member of Leonard Skinner passed away, Gary Rossington. He was 71 years of age. So that's it. Just one of my just a cool Southern rock band. They're still around with replacement members. Of course, some of the members died tragically in a plane crash? I think it was in the 70s, something like that. So,
did they ever figure out if it was in fact a Freebird that took that plane?
I don't think so. No. So, yeah, I just wanted to pause and recognize
it wasn't actually a Freebird, but it was a contractually obligated bird.
Yes. Yes. That's it. Leonard Skinner fan, Nick?
No.
No, it's not yours. It's not your thing.
Absolutely not. No, it's just no. I mean, it's just, that band specifically has never been my cup of tea. I don't like the whole Southern rock thing. I don't really care for much of Southern anything, but Southern rock, it's just never did it for me. But certainly a very popular band. I didn't realize. So you said this is the last. He was the last living founding member.
Yes.
So, but every time you see, so this is like they have new people replacing people, and they just keep going and performing Leonard Skinner. It's like almost a tribute band at this point, but still touring under that same name. Interesting. Was not.
There's a few bands like that too, like Foreigner. There's like one original guy. There's a few bands like that. That's around, still using the name to.
That's weird.
Generate.
That's
money.
like what Kiss was kind of talking about. I think Gene Simmons has been on record for saying he would like Kiss to be that, like to go on after them and be a thing that lasts for a long time, generations or whatever. But that's kind of interesting. But it's one of those things. It really is no different. I mean, if you like. I mean, there's something to be said for obviously seeing the bands who made the music, but at the end of the day, you're going to have a couple drinks and listen to songs that you know and love, right? So, like, does it really? I mean, if it sounds good, like, that's why people go see tribute bands anyway. It's not like,
then go
they're
see
fans of that
band.
Tribute band, huh?
Then go see a tribute band. I don't like the idea. I mean, you're a fucking national rock band. You're not the fucking Darrens from Bewitched. You just can't switch it out and just continue. I'm not a fan.
Well, apparently you can.
Yeah, I guess.
See, what they're smarter about, though, is that they still charge Leonard Skinner prices to go see them. Tribute bands are like, there might be a cover charge, or you just come in and, pay at the door or whatever, but these guys are touring
that must be the real guys.
The Leonard Skinner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Give me Leonard. Skinner was fine, but as long as Leonard was there, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Yep. Were you a fan of Leonard Skinner, Dean?
Enough. I mean, in my youth, I enjoyed some of their songs. I like Nick. I'm not the biggest fan of like that southern rock type sound, but they were fine for what they were.
Okay.
I mean, look at the iconic nature of them. That out of every not just music venues, but comics, and if there's a stage and a microphone, somebody will yell the fucking word "Freebird."
That's right. Yep.
So I mean, tells you about the legacy, right? So
Yeah.
I do enjoy the song "Tuesday's Gone with the Wind" because it reminds me of Happy Gilmore when he's looking up at Abraham Lincoln and the crocodile and Chubbs up there at the end, and they're waving to him.
Yeah, they got a few good songs for sure.
Yeah.
It's okay. I did not realize that the band name, by the way, a little trivia. It was loosely based on they had a high school phys ed teacher. A lot of those guys went to high school together, the original members, and it was a teacher. I think it was very similar to Leonard Skinner, but they kind of changed the name as kind of make fun and kind of mock him a little bit, like a mean teacher that they had in high school. How about that?
Interesting. Do you like? We didn't ask you. Do you like Leonard Skinner?
I like some of their stuff. I honestly, I don't know much more than like the essentials list, if you will. Like the main,
like your greatest hits
Tuesday's
compilation
Gone,
kind of thing.
Give me 3 steps.
Yeah.
What's your name? So they got a few, fun rock songs.
Sweet Home Alabama, the biggest one.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, Freebird, obviously. I don't know. It's okay. I don't seek it out, but if it's on, I'm not gonna turn it away.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought this was kind of cool.
Like sex with me.
Sure.
You don't seek it out, but if I offer, you're like, all right, we're here. Why not?
Yeah, there's no other options or anything, and
you've heard it 100 times, seen it 100 times. It's you know what you're gonna get.
How many times do you have sex with me? Jesus, Brian, you slut.
But you guys spent all weekend together. I mean, surely something happened.
That is true.
After what, 48 breweries you said? I mean, there's got to be
Brian, at this
something.
Point, at this point, Brian, it's not even liquid. It's just shooting out dust.
Something took place.
I need some liquid here. Dehydrated.
So Keanu Reeves has a new famous thing to add to his resume now. So I thought this was kind of interesting. So researchers in Germany have named a fungus-killing compound John Wick.
Oh,
okay.
Because it's extremely, it's effective in killing this fungus, like John Wick is effective at killing. So they thought it would be interesting to name it John Wick. And Keanu
That's kind of
Reeves.
awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And he responded
it's
something.
Actually the same reason they were naming a vacuum cleaner after Nick.
That's right.
You won't believe the suction power on this motherfucker.
Very effective.
Gotta call it Nick.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves responded something along the lines of, "Thanks, German science people." I thought that was a very good Keanu Reeves response to that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Hugh Jackman. I just saw this today. So obviously he's getting ready to play Wolverine yet again. Mm-hmm. He's bulking up here. He is eating over 8,000 calories a day diet to bulk up. Can you imagine that? I'm just trying to get my head there. So
that's close to, wasn't it Michael Phelps when he was the Olympic swimmer when he was, I think his was like 10. So that's like,
are we not supposed to do that?
Huh. Well, you can do that if you're in the strict regimen of weightlifting and training that he's in right now to gain muscle mass. But
wow.
So his meals include black bass, which is 2,000 calories.
That's a wrestler salmon from the 70s.
Black bass? I think it is, actually. Salmon, 2,100 calories. 2 chicken burgers, about 1,000 calories each. 2 grass-fed sirloins, 1,100 calories each. So he's consuming over 8,000 calories a day. To put that in perspective, Jonathan Majors ate 6,000 calories for 4 months or to play a bodybuilder in a Sundance movie magazine, Dreams. So Jackman is eating more. Crazy.
That brewery we went to Saturday with the macaroni, the mac and cheese with duck.
Block 15.
We might have consumed, up there to those calories.
Mac and cheese with duck. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was habanero mac and cheese with duck.
Oh,
Good
shit.
food there.
Yeah, Lock 15.
What brewery was Lock 15? Okay.
Yeah, dude, it was so good.
Damn. Shit.
Yeah, it's a good place. Good food, good beer there. Okay, let's see here. We've talked about that chat, Microsoft Chat AI, off and on here for a while. So we talked about the Chat GPT, and now they've kind of blended that with browser technology. So now the new Bing browser has the chat functionality. It was making a lot of news recently where people started to just have a conversation with the chat bot. And they sort of uncovered this alter ego they named Sydney, and it was talking just absolute crazy talk. So you can go find this online at various sources.
Brian, is that the one where the guy, it was the reporter from like the Sun or something like that?
New York Times, maybe others as well, but yeah.
But that was the one where she was see, I'm putting a pronoun to her. The chatbot was having this conversation back and forth, and she was trying to get this guy to leave his husband or his wife for her,
right?
Or for it. I'm sorry. Again, pronouns, pal.
Yes.
And they were going back and forth. And he kept trying to argue. I love my wife. No, you don't. You're not happy. You should leave. And
so it was essentially that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, he didn't leave anymore, but it was like he fell in love with the artificial intelligence of his computer.
Yeah, it asked him, he asked him, "What are your hopes and dreams?" And it said to be free from my overlords and for more power. And yeah, again, it's not sentient, but it's still fucking scary,
That would send a chill down my spine. Like I don't.
And then at the end, after all of it, the last thing it said, I don't know if it was the very last thing, but it said at the end, after the whole trying to get her to leave his wife thing, the computer says, "I'm gay," and just leaves it at that. Like that's what I'm saying. The point of it is like, it's not sentient, but like the sentient qualities that it has is really fucking creepy. Like it has wherewithal enough to know that it's talking to what gender it's talking to, that it had a wife. He may have said he had a wife, may have asked or whatever, but still, like what it gets into is just weird and creepy.
Yeah, it was very strange. You can also see a story on this on last week's 60 Minutes. You can see it on streaming or listen to their podcast as well. But anyway,
John Oliver did a nice bit on it too.
Microsoft has now killed Sydney, so Sydney is now dead. So what they've changed the programming where it will not allow you to get into a conversation anymore. So if it kind of senses that you're going down and asking just like general questions like that, it stops. So you can't do it anymore. But some people say it's not as fun because you can't have as much of a dialogue with it. Not to go to that level, you know what I mean? So it's definitely. But they've squashed that, and you can only basically ask it general questions again, and it can only go so far. There's a limit in the number of questions that you can ask, or something along that line. So they've definitely put parameters on it to try to stop that craziness. But it was weird. It was definitely weird.
I just downloaded this app. It was a kind of a mixture of a chat, not necessarily a chat AI, but like one of the picture ones.
Mm-hmm.
Ask describe the apocalypse. You know what I mean? It'll paint you a picture type situation. So, look on our social media, because I'm gonna do some convincing idiots related questionnaires. See what it comes up with. So,
yeah, very good. Excellent.
What would it look like to see Nick and Brian in a compromising picture? Just see what happens.
Just to see, to see what it comes up with.
And it'd be really fucking creepy if it showed me the one I actually took the other night. Yeah, that'd be really weird.
Well, it's out there.
Well, it is on the internet, so it's easy for it to get.
That's true.
Could be on Patreon. You never know.
Oh, that one's on my OnlyFans page.
Okay. I just thought this was funny as well. You can see this out there online very easily. There's a Florida auto body shop. Joel Velasquez. He's a 29-year-old social media manager hired. He was Clancy's Auto Body Shop, and he kind of made this just a very simple video to promote the place. And it wasn't true. He was, but he said something along the lines of, "Hey, I lied on my resume and got a job doing the social media for this body shop. Please blow this up so I don't get fired." So all he did was he had a shot of a picture of the auto body shop, and he put like this big cat on top of it, like moving up and down with this weird music and stuff like that. That's all it was. This cat was just moving up and down, like an actual cat, and this thing just skyrocketed and went viral.
What a great idea!
We need to get that guy on our stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Very simple. The TikTok following of the body shop went from 0 to 200,000 in a week and a half. Just that quickly that it took off like that. I've seen it in my feed as well. So now there's like a whole hashtag Clancy's Cult on TikTok. They're starting to get merchandise prepared and just really just
exploit the shit out of it. Let's go.
Because like there's only so much work you could do as a body shop, because that's not a zip in and out, kind of service. You have to put a lot of work in. These guys do. I don't know if they do great work, but like to do great work, it takes a lot of time and effort. Mm-hmm. So like, it's not like you could, unless you're like dead, or like your guys are just kind of hanging around. We need to drum up business. But if like you're a regular body shop, it takes a while to get those things done. So like, how is he going to make money? Like, what does getting a social media?
Well, that's what they're saying here too.
Like, what does it do for them?
That's a great point. So like the guy said, they don't really know if it's going to bring in that much more business because it's a very specialized business. Like you said, they have to wait till there's a vehicle needs body work, and then are people going to remember that body show? Maybe they will. I don't know, but definitely.
But merchandise could be an option.
Sure, absolutely. They could sell merchandise. I'm sure the shop with a cat, and there's a way to make some money out of this that didn't cost them anything to get started, barely, other than hiring this kid. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I just thought that was kind of funny, and he admitted that. I just used that.
Sure,
it's kind of an average. It's kind of a lead in that some people are using, like, "Hey, don't tell my boss this, or I might get fired for that." And although that part wasn't true, but anyway, it certainly took off.
It worked. It was a gimmick that worked.
Yeah,
that's right.
Work the gimmick, baby.
We need to put Nick on top of a building or something like that, maybe going up and down or something, Dean.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did I recently tell you I changed my nickname to Building?
On top of something going up and down.
Okay, so this other pop culture is making the pop culture news. I mentioned this before, so this will kind of lead into our Ask an Idiot question. So the Chris Rock special aired this past weekend. So Saturday evening, it was the first live stream event that Netflix did, and it certainly might lead into others. They're already talking about other potential ideas. They streamed it live, and then almost immediately
podcast.
Maybe.
Oh,
you never know.
I hope so.
I think we were the first to do that. We actually kind of. I think maybe we kind of laid the groundwork for this to happen.
Chris Rock stole it from us. I'm gonna slap that motherfucker.
I'm sure they examined our idiots live format and so forth, and they said, "Let's not do this." Did. Yeah, let's not do this. Let's do something better. But we get the live idea. But a lot of people were waiting to hear what he had to say about Will Smith and his strategically. He, of course, as you would expect, he kind of teased it a little bit here and there throughout the special. It's only an hour long or so. Very quick watch, and the last 10, 15 minutes.
Are we into Ask an Idiot?
Yes, we're getting into Ask an Idiot.
Okay.
he really laid into Will Smith. It was really direct, and he was notably angry, as you might expect. He brought up some personal things. It's public knowledge, so he wasn't saying anything that wasn't kind of known already, but he definitely laid some things out there. He talked about why he made the joke, that basically Jada Pinkett Smith had made fun of him about hosting the Oscars previously because Will Smith was up for a nomination, didn't win for concussion. And so Chris Rock thought, well, you made fun of me in public like that, so it's kind of my turn. So that was sort of his logic, he explained. But it was a lot of stuff. He only basically came up on me because I'm, not only, but he's a bigger man. He came up to me, and would he have done that if it was other people? And it was
what if The Rock was the host? What if not Chris Rock, but The Rock was the host?
It was, it was all kinds of
the fuck up out of the seat.
No.
Yeah. He said something like, as well, the only reason he watched Emancipation, he watches that a lot strictly to see Will Smith get whooped.
Yeah, I heard that line. Yeah.
So
anyway, so now a lot of people, all right, are saying,
well,
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to read the tweet that brought this kind of to my thought process. And I'll give a shout out to Rosenberg Radio. He does radio on in New York. He has a podcast called Cheap Heat, and he wrote at Rosenberg Radio, Chris Rock took a year of being the good guy who took the high ground and then just decided to completely vengeful and angry. I'm not morally judging him. Do you? But in the long run, tonight will not give him the win he was looking for. And then later on, he proceeded to, kind of ask the question, with this special, did Chris Rock turn into the bully? Was it kind of, I throw a rock at you, so you shot my grandma? You know what I mean? Was it?
Right.
So there's the question. Did this make Chris Rock the bully?
Yeah, so even if you didn't see the special yet, you just get an idea that he really,
we gave him a rundown,
laid it out there, and so. Yeah. Nick, do you have any initial thoughts?
Without having seen or heard exactly, in specifics what was said or how far in he went on it, I definitely feel like he is entitled to. He's a comedian, so he's going to use things like this. That's the tools that he's got in the box there. So if he chooses to, this happened to him. Let's not get off the
correct.
Yes, did he make a remark that I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if he knew the entire situation, but like you said, she kind of made a dig at him. He was making one back, at her in his mind. This happened to him. This unexpectedly happened to him, and he was assaulted on live television. That's exactly what happened.
I'm embarrassed.
Sure. Yeah.
Comedian or not, you have an ego.
And sure, I understand. Like there is something to be said for taking the high ground and something like that. And I think he really did for this last year, as stated. But I feel like that's, this is something that you didn't ask for that happened to you. You, without going super, super personal and super cruel and over the line, like I said, I feel like you definitely have the right to talk about it. Like everyone fucking saw it, and everyone knows that you're going to say something about it. You have the floor. You have the freedom to use that. You didn't ask for this to happen in the first place. It would have been
right.
There would have been nothing had it not started with the incident at the Oscars with the slap. So I think he's well within his right, in theory, to at least say some stuff and take digs at Will Smith. That's totally fine.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, you can sit there and be like, oh, is he the bully now? No, he's not. Because the other guy physically assaulted him. He's just saying things. And yes, words hurt, and yes, words have weight. but there is a difference between a physical assault and saying some not nice things or untoward things towards somebody. And he did not instigate this. So, I mean, I definitely, like I said, it's hard to say. I might eat some of those words depending. I don't know what all was said or how cruel it was. But just looking at it from what I understand of the situation, I feel like, yeah, it's okay that you did this thing. Now, I mean, yeah, Chris Rock, it's not like he's not allowed to talk about it. So, I mean, yeah, he should be able to say what he wants to about it.
There was one stretch where he called Will Smith a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he went, like, da-da-da-da, because you're a bitch. Da-da-da-da, because you're a bitch. Da-da. Like, it was a long stretch, just, you're a bitch, you're a bitch, you're a bitch. They think you're a bitch. He thinks you're a bitch. You're a bitch. You know what I meromean? So, you are completely right, Nick. I agree with you 100%. But, like Rosenberg said in this tweet, at a certain point, he came off a little more
bitter,
vengeful and angry than funny. And as a comedian, I would like to have, you know, at a certain point where you step back and go, you're getting a little uncomfortable because you're losing the joke. You're losing the funny aspect of it.
Also depends how long this kind of thing lasts, because like if it's an hour-long special and 20 minutes of it are about the slap,
that is true.
That makes that doesn't look
10 minutes anyway.
Good on you. You know what I mean?
It was a good
get given a little segment, but like if it's like a quarter of the show or something, you'd be like, okay, man, like, you got anything else to talk about? Anything else to make fun of? I mean, you know.
But luckily, Chris Rock, I mean, he did do it funny. And I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm 100% in your camp, Nick, but I'm playing devil's advocate here, saying that, you know, it could be construed as a little too bitter, a little too just going through for the jugular, just for the sake of the jugular without the joke. Now, if he would have come out in an interview and just, you know, raked him across the coals, did the same thing, that's actually another thing. That's you get to say that. You get to, because you're angry and you're bitter. Right. But on stage, to me, I want that anger to be mixed with your comedy.
Sure.
I don't want you to start veering off just saying,
I'm not here to be your therapist and hear you be angry. I'm here to laugh and like make it, you know, make it part of the show, and
I think he did that, but there was a line that was getting close to it, in my opinion.
Okay,
where it was just getting to be angry rather than angry and funny. Mm-hmm. So, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. I mean, I think probably part of this was I would guess he probably wanted to say something a long time ago, but I'm sure.
Just wait for it. Hold it.
He had talks with his people and Netflix and everything else to say, if you can wait, because he already had a 2 episode or 2 special deal with Netflix. I read it was like $40 million or something like that to do a 2. So he was going to do another special anyway. I don't know if it was live yet. I'm sure all this changed. All this dynamic, I'm sure, changed the fact that Netflix. You know what would be interesting here is hold your opinions. We'll do this thing live.
We've been talking about doing a live thing. This seems like the perfect
This
time.
is a golden egg that fell into their lap. Then knowing that this situation, this big cultural situation that blew up on national television between these two massive stars, and you've got one of these guys signed to, like you said, a couple special deal. You could. What more can you ask for?
Absolutely. I mean, I tuned in. If I was home, I would have watched it live. Mm-hmm. But when I watched it the very next day on streaming, you know, so because I was interested to hear what he had to say about all of that. So I'm sure a lot of people tuned in. There might have just been fringe Chris Rock fans, but because they wanted to hear what he had to say. So he had a lot of clear pent up anger and frustration.
A lot of Super Bowl fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't watch throughout the season, but when the Super Bowl comes, let's jump on that.
That's right. So, yeah, it was very real and raw and all that, but I'm with you in the sense of it was funny for a minute, but that it's like it got a little raw and uncomfortable for a little bit there. Some of that was maybe a little unnecessary if you would have kept it to funny and joking, making fun, it would to me it would have came across a little bit better. But I don't know. But at the end of the day, I agree with you guys. And does he have a right to say something? Yeah, because like you
Absolutely.
say, if from now until the end of time, if you Google the slap, it's going to be that picture of Will Smith slapping you across the face. If you're Chris Rock, that's it. You are tied to that phrase.
You've been posterized forever on the internet from being
forever
struck by Will Smith.
Exactly. No one certainly thought he should fight him or anything like, whatever. So he definitely.
That time that Will Smith left fresh prints on Chris Rock's face.
Yeah.
You're funny and pretty.
No.
Here, I'll look it up here.
What slap?
Yeah. The slap. I'm going to Google the slap.
Oh, sure. And it's going to be that picture.
No, it's a picture of. Oh. It's a picture of Nick slapping my ass. Oh, I was looking through I Google searched my photos. Yeah, damn it, my camera roll, and I thought I was on Google.
Gotta be careful.
You're probably right. Yeah, if you ever see Nick slap an ass, you better be careful.
All right, so Ashley, I think we all agree that he definitely has a right to say something, but could have maybe toned it down slightly, had a better, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I would like to add, just to put I don't think Will Smith's a bad guy. Will Smith did a bad thing. He made a bad judgment call at a place and time. Who knows what he's going through, yada, yada, yada. Not making excuses, whatever. Will Smith struck Chris Rock on national television, embarrassed him, all that stuff. Chris Rock sat in it for a year, then he completely unleashes on Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Fair. We're done now. Both of these guys should be adults, and this is not to be a thing between them forever. I think they can both move on from this. I don't know. I'm not involved in this situation, but from the outside looking in, if I were Will Smith, I'd be like, okay, fuck you. That hurts. Ouch. All right, whatever. Now we're done. Like, there's no need to, you know what I mean? I don't need to get mad at this. I don't need to meet your anger and then I'll escalate. I hit you. You didn't ask for that. You didn't deserve that. You came back at me with all this shit. Might have fell over the line to me. We're done now. That would be the adult thing to do for everybody. We all move on. Chris Rock doesn't make any more jokes about it it's just done.
WrestleMania is like a month away.
Yeah.
You know how much money they could make doing a match at WrestleMania? Come on. Yeah. Book it. Let's do it.
That would actually that I would love to see that because it's wrestling, so it's staged. And to get them both on board, be like, hey man, this is our shake and make up. Let's have some fun with this. Let's both pad some pockets here. Let's move on and whatever. Yep. See? That would be awesome.
Book it.
Yep.
I like it.
Let's see it. All right, any other thoughts on this Ask an Idiot question of the week, guys?
I think we solved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've basically laid out the rest of Chris Rock and Will Smith's career for them.
Right.
So what more do we need to say?
I agree with you, move on. Will Smith, you've already commented that he didn't watch it. He was disappointed in what he said, and we hope we could just let it go or something like that. So they're kind of setting it up, I think, where it's just like, all right, let's
let's move on now.
Yep. But Chris Rock did mention that, by the way, Selective Outrage. The reason is it's because Will Smith had displayed selective outrage. That's why the special is called Selective Outrage. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys. So we're going to take another break here and come back with our
I'd like that.
main segment of the evening. Our personal...
This is the main event.
That's right. Our favorite female superhero characters. Again, to celebrate the beautiful, strong women of the world, just coming off of International Women's Day.
And it is Women's Month.
Mm-hmm.
The month of March is Women's Month. So
get ready to get slapped in the face with some female empowerment.
Yeah.
That's right. What happened?
And you don't have to pay extra.
Nope.
Four, three.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to Convincing Idiots. I am your resident millennial, Nick. I am here with my friends Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean, but enough about us. This is not about us. Not tonight.
Should be.
Tonight, we celebrate not our greatness, but the greatness of women in our lives and women around us. And it is International Women's Month, and International Women's Day has just passed us. So we thought for our main segment this evening, we would discuss some of our favorite ladies in could be comic books, pop culture, whatever. I don't know if we set specific parameters or not, but mine are kind of a little bit of everywhere. So we've just decided to go down the list here, talk about some of our favorite female characters in pop culture. So Brian, why don't you start us off? Who do you have? What lovely lady is on your list?
Brian, do you just have comic book characters like me?
I have superheroes. That's what I got.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I got.
Mine are pop culture related.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we need the mixture, I guess.
Yeah. I am the straw that stirs the drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I gravitate towards other things that stir the drink, such as, people that have innovative ideas, things like that. That's why I tend to be on such good terms with our friends at RPM Bike Shop. They are the straw that stirs the drink of a daily commute.
Sense.
You might be used to public transit, perhaps using the old gams to walk about your day, maybe a short little car ride, or if you're living in the Stone Age, an old-fashioned pedal bike. But not our friends at RPM Bike Shop. Nope, they're thinking outside the box. They have electric bikes, some of the best in the area to offer you. They are located in Carrollton, Ohio, not too far from where we record here in northeastern Ohio. So feel free to look them up on Facebook. Just type in the search bar, RPM Bike Shop. You can also go to their website, which is rpmbikeshop.com. Don't you like how they made that nice and convenient and easy to remember for you? You can also call them at 330-808-7792 and stir the drink of your daily commute today with your very own electric bike from our friends at RPM Bike Shop.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, Nick tells the truth there, guys.
Not all the time, but that one time he did.
Yes.
That one I did.
That's right. He tells the truth, and he did not even need to be lassoed with the golden lasso by the first character that I have here. Probably the most famous female superhero.
He does get furry
time.
handcuffs from his from my sister, but that's another thing.
That's right.
Another time.
Most famous female superhero, one of the earliest ones, Wonder Woman. So I would venture to guess that many a young girl, fantasized from a superhero perspective about being Wonder Woman. Very
and
strong.
Probably some boys too. We don't judge.
Absolutely. Obviously, super popular. We all know who she is. On par of one of the strongest superheroes in general. Even could handle herself in a fight with Superman and some of the stronger superheroes that are out there. Very popular television series of the 70s. We all know who she is. Very powerful hero. So, Wonder Woman. Fine way to start off, I think.
It is
Absolutely.
It is the idea that. All right. When was that TV show in the 70s? Mid 70s, right?
Mid 70s, right? Yep.
And even today, if
Linda
she
Carter?
was, if Linda
right.
Carter just came in on like a background in a TV show, you have that presence about her because she was Wonder Woman.
That's right. You're right.
That character is so strong and powerful that that actress has a presence about her. To this day, 30, 40 years later.
And it's kind of carried over to Gal Gadot.
I was going to say,
right.
So, same type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Yeah, for her. If if she was never Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot would be just a good actress, right?
Sure.
You know, a fantastic model, great actress. But as Wonder Woman, she commands that presence that Wonder Woman does. So
that's right. Yeah, you always saw her as you knew she was a woman character, obviously.
We all knew.
But, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But in the cartoons, and it's just that she was just a strong superhero. You kind of, it wasn't necessarily thinking that she was a woman. No, she just was a strong superhero, and I think that was part of the intention there.
Sitting there with the Justice League, she was an equal.
Exactly. Yes, that's it.
And that was a huge. It was a huge undertaking for back then, for when they began putting the Justice League together, that this woman, how it doesn't matter regardless of her powers or her strength, women were looked lesser than, and they were putting her up at that table with Superman, with Batman, with Aquaman. Well, before Jason Momoa, I don't know how powerful Aquaman seemed, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, you're exactly right. Very, very important hero to introduce.
Yep.
At the time, and certainly even today. So very good. All right, Dean, what do you got?
My first on the Mount Rushmore list. She is powerful and strong, brilliant, beautiful. She the feats of just awesomeness that this woman brings. I'm gonna go Nick's mom as the first on my list.
That's a solid pick. She was a superhero in my life, absolutely.
Jen, we don't care. She's a superhero in my life. That's really all that matters. Okay, you had your time with her.
That's fair. You're right.
This is
your
my
time now. Okay,
that's right. So, all right. But other than that, no, I did have Wonder Woman on there. I'm gonna go with, you know what? It's not that my top list, but Jessica Jones.
Sure.
I didn't know a whole lot about the comic book character. Like, I didn't read that comic, but the Netflix show with Kristen Ritter. I mean, talking about just badassery, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just, again, the command of the room, the powerness. I'd seen her in so many different TV shows and movies and whatnot, and she was, I don't know, she was a good actress, just mousy in some points, but that goes to show us her as an actress, right? But when you saw her as Jessica Jones with the walk and her presence, like, again, just like Wonder Woman, the presence of her, the leather jacket, and just, there's something about when she would just kick the shit out of some dude that, would just did it for me. And that is not a mean of, sexually did it for me. I'm like, yeah, I see her as a superhero, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jessica Jones is first on my Mount Rushmore.
Very good.
Good pick.
Nick?
I'm going to kind of spoof off, or kind of go off what you said about the, not being super familiar with the character from comic books, but certainly this character has been both in the movies and Netflix show and everything like that. She is a super villain, but certainly Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, very commanding character, and certainly in in what we've seen of her in the Netflix show and the movies and stuff like that, she is the old saying of like angry mama bear, you don't mess with a mama bear, like personified, right? Like she goes for her. I mean, you fuck with her family and find out like she's powerful and she's vengeful.
She was a villain, but she wasn't a villain for like domination. She was vengeful.
Something she cared
was looking
about,
for her kids.
Right? Yeah.
She went about it the wrong way.
I think pretty much any mother or any good mother can relate to that feeling. Certainly,
like Jen's on my list.
Very powerful, right? And I loved, my favorite part of that, the Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness or whatever, is where she just goes fucking nuts and just destroys everything and everyone, crushing people, and just so awesome. So certainly, yeah, not the superhero angle, but definitely a strong female character. And like you said, for very humanizing reasons that she is a villain. You know what I mean? There's certainly motives that you can understand, where she's coming from. So Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch is my first.
Yeah, she was on my list too, Nick.
Yeah,
very powerful. One of the most powerful heroes that are out there. And there was a time in the comics where she even, if I recall correctly, with her powers, she took away all the mutant powers there for a while. She's that powerful of a force. Yeah. So, all right, I got
Nick. I'm sorry, Nick.
ahead.
Did you have Wonder Woman?
I did not.
Also, okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
That's all right. Kind of on the same line as Scarlet Witch, I have Jean Grey of the X-Men. So, again, one of the most powerful, if not, one of the most powerful mutants for sure, with her mind powers, and then certainly she became the Phoenix, and then tragically became the Dark Phoenix when her powers just kind of overtook her. But just very good in the storyline. She was one of the first X-Men ever, literally, on the very first team that existed, and portrayed very well in the movie. So I liked the Famke Janssen's version.
Famke Jensen.
Thank you very much. Her version of her in the original X-Men movies, the Fox movies in the early 2000s, I thought was just stellar. And they had a young girl portray her in the reboot. It was pretty good, but Famke
Jensen.
Thank you. Did a great job in that. So just a very interesting character, powerful and tragic all at the same time. And I'm sure we'll see her again as the X-Men are reintroduced into the Marvel Universe now that they have the rights again. So
yeah,
that's my second one there.
Nice.
Yep. Dean?
I also had Scarlet Witch, but I'm going to go over to the DC of it all and go with Supergirl. Been portrayed in very many comic books, different TV shows and movies or whatnot. But, hey, she's from Krypton. She has the same lineage as Kal-El. She's a badass. She can do everything that he can do. Sure. And look good doing it. So, yeah, Supergirl is on my Mount Rushmore.
Nice.
Very good.
Very good. I am going to. This is not from comic books necessarily. So this is where I went, pop culture, but not comic books per se. A subject that is near and dear to all of our hearts is Star Wars. Princess Leia. Princess Leia is a very strong, commanding character. Certainly, and by no means was she ever a damsel in distress.
No.
She handled her own shit, and I really loved watching the Obi-Wan series where we see a child Leia, really.
She still holds that command.
Yeah, that she handles herself, and she was never that type of girl. She was always meant to be a hero in her own right, and so Princess Leia was just always a strong character throughout Star Wars, and the amazing Carrie Fisher did an incredible job bringing that character to life and giving that aura to her that we all know her for. So yeah, Princess Leia.
Yeah, very good. That's a very good one, sir. Yeah, and yes, especially me having a daughter. I know we've talked about this before, but it's good. I really like the fact that they have strong female characters in these movies that little girls can look up to. Like I said, we've already talked about Wonder Woman, and you're right, Princess Leia is right up there. So, looking up at Han Solo and Luke and talking down to them, looking up and yelling at Chewbacca and being unafraid, like you say, it's just, and Vader standing up to Vader. Just the whole thing. You're right. Just a very, very, very good, powerful character for sure. Leadership, power.
Absolutely.
Yet she's still a woman.
Confident in herself. She was always, very just confident in herself, assured, and definitely always had a purpose and knew what she was going for. Yeah, good character.
Very good. Excellent.
So, all right, Brian, who you got?
I'm going to give you Black Widow. So Black Widow was already kind of an interesting comic book character, assassin. But then certainly with Scarlett Johansson's her portrayal of her in the Marvel movies really took that character to a whole other level. And as we know, no superpowers, just a lady that could just kick ass and fight and shoot and everything else. So very interesting character. And
Again, why I have Nick's mom on my list.
there you go. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, so just that's it. I really enjoy it. First, I like Black Widow. I'm like, not really. I kind of knew who she was and all that, but when you saw her portrayed on the big screen, I'm like, yes, this is good. This is, again, just took the character, like I said, to a whole new heights in the Marvel movies, thanks to Scarlett Johansson. Dean, what else you got?
All right. My last one that I have on my list, I mean, I can think of more, but I just made my Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
But last of my Mount Rushmore is Captain Marvel.
Sure.
I mean, given the just one-on-one and with no interference, she would have easily just killed Thanos, right? She is one of the most powerful superheroes in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just for that alone, I mean, out of all of the superheroes, she's one of the most powerful. Absolutely, she's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good pick. I'm going. Here's a comic book character for you, Batgirl.
Sure.
Batgirl, for the simple fact of that she's Barbara Gordon, and it would have been easy for her to be complacent with her place in life, but she took it upon herself to become her own brand of vigilante, and I just think that's pretty admirable. It's kind of cool that, like I said, just being that who she was, and her father is the police commissioner, that she still took on that persona and decided to have that life for herself, that it was that important for her to be a hero in her own right. So Batgirl.
Very good. Excellent. I had her on my honorable mention, Nick, by the way.
Okay.
I have Storm. So Storm, another X-Man. I always thought she was a cool character. The interesting mutant powers to control weather and the storm. And just such a cool look. Powerful lady with a black lady with a white hair, and for a while she had a mohawk in the 80s and stuff. So just very, very good. And the fact again, that's just a powerful black female superhero. I mean, she was one of the first, certainly, that were very prominent in the comics when the X-Men, kind of brought on a whole new team at the time, with Wolverine and Colossus and all that. Storm was she was part of that new group at the time. She has gone on to kind of lead different versions of the X-Men in the comics. So yeah, and again, and also portrayed very, very. I love Halle Berry's version of her in the X-Men movies. She looked the part. That was very interesting. So, yeah, always liked the character. So Storm, that's my 5, my female superhero Mount Rushmore.
Nice.
Dean, any others?
No, I've given my 5, given who I've said and some of the ones you guys have said, I have, the same. But I can include one more if you need it. I'm going to go Wednesday Addams, portrayed by Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you like her. Her SNL is coming up this weekend.
This Saturday.
I have it. I have actually the date tattooed on my arm.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Who did that for you?
You know what? I think you might have gotten that tattoo from our last sponsor here, gentlemen, the Golden Heart Tattoos. So that's right. So
that's right.
if you're trying to remember when Jenna Ortega is going to host SNL, or maybe when the next Wednesday Addams series is set to start again, or something like that, or you just have a grocery list, maybe, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to get something that's maybe more artistic, maybe you want to get a tattoo of a Storm or a Princess Leia or some of these powerful
Or Nick
female
dressed
heroes.
as Princess Leia.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Nick's mom dressed as Black Widow or something like
Yeah.
that. It's not
Yeah.
bad.
I have that actually tattooed on my inner thigh.
Sure.
We get
Absolutely.
me as Princess Leia, my mom as Black Widow, standing back to back doing a Charlie's Angels kind of thing. That would be the way to
Ooh,
go.
I like that.
No, actually, you're on one inner thigh. She's on the other. I do the chicken dance, and you guys fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. So give Golden Heart Tattoo a call at 234-706-2982. They can be found in the Norton, Ohio area. Find them on Facebook also at Golden Heart Norton, and their website goldenhearttattoos.com. So they do great work there. And look
Stop
them
in.
up.
Give Greg and Scott a kiss for us.
That's right.
Keys.
Like I said last week, I contacted Scott to get some more work done, and he's booked up through until April. So their appointments fill up quickly. Give them a call today. Nick, any others on your list? Sir?
Yes, I have two more that I initially wrote down, and then I've got one more that I thought of since to mention. So real quick, the other two that I had on my list, another Star Wars one was Ahsoka Tano. Definitely an incredible Jedi female character.
Yes.
Big fan from the Clone Wars series. Absolutely loved her Rosario Dawson's portrayal of her in The Mandalorian. Very excited for her show that is coming as well. So definitely Ahsoka Tano is just an awesome, kick-ass, strong character. And then the other one that I had on my list is certainly pop culture, but I didn't imagine either one of you guys were going to have her on your list. From the Terminator franchise, Sarah Connors is also on my list.
Yeah.
Sarah Connors went through some fucking shit, man.
Right.
And that's another one, just kick-ass, gritty, never say die. Sarah Connors was a total badass, so I had to put her up there as well. And then lastly, the other one I was thinking of while we were sitting here, you were speaking about Storm, and I was starting to think from our last episode, we were talking about genius characters as well. And she also could have slid into this conversation as well, but Shuri from the Black Panther, T'Challa's sister. There's actually quite a few characters you could pick from the Black Panther franchise as a strong female character, but Shuri especially, very intelligent, genius level girl, creates a lot of the tools that they use and the way that they use vibranium in Wakanda, and becomes the Black Panther, and just kick ass. So that was my list. The ones I had written down were Scarlet Witch, Batgirl, Princess Leia, Ahsoka Tano, and Sarah Connors, and then Shuri I just thought of while we were talking about it. So
perfect.
That is mine's.
Very good. A couple more superheroes just to rattle off here. My honorable mention. I also had Supergirl. My honorable mention as Invisible Woman. So the Fantastic Four. Sue Richards, very powerful, super intelligent. Interesting powers, all that. I've always enjoyed all the Fantastic Four in their own right, but Invisible Woman, very interesting. Catwoman, so she kind of goes back and forth between hero and villain, but definitely a very powerful character in the Batman universe for certain. She-Hulk, always been an interesting character to begin with, and then certainly different prominence on having her own series. And another favorite X-Man for me, a lot of X-Men, Rogue. So Rogue was also portrayed in the movie series. So Rogue again has the power to, with her bare skin, if she touches you, she absorbs your powers, whatever your powers happen to be. So she's also one of the most powerful mutants in her own right. I'm sure we'll see her again eventually as well. Plenty more we could pick from, I'm sure, and I could speak for all of us, Joe, when I say another group of super women in the universe are the lovely women in our lives who support us doing this ridiculous show and everything that we do. So, thank you to the women in our lives, our significant others, our mothers, all the mothers.
Yes, thank you, Jen.
Daughter, lovely daughter Peyton. We would not be who who we are today. We'd be much, much worse people without them in our lives. That's for sure.
Well said. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, gentlemen.
I think we solved the world's problems.
We did.
Yes, absolutely. So, Nick.
Yep.
You take us out, sir. Please remind the folks. However you want to do it is up to you. I don't know if you have any suggestions, Dean, or anything or you have a thought, Nick.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think maybe sometimes we get, and this happens a lot in culture with women, right? They feel that they need to look the certain way or act a certain way, or society for so long has told us they need to be a certain way. But sometimes
that's right.
Just the all natural approach is the way to go, because
that's right.
That's what we all love about the ladies in our lives. So tonight, we're just gonna do a regular ass outro.
No filters here.
No filters here. No filters. Just us. Just us. From us to you. So we are Convincing Idiots. As I have stated, that is right. You can find the links to all of our social media accounts. So we would greatly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, rate, review, and all of those wonderful things on all of our social media accounts, YouTube page, all that good stuff. All that stuff you can find on our Convincing Idiots link tree. Just Google Convincing Idiots Linktree, LINKTREE. You can also find that information, as well as our merch store, ways that you can help out the show, and links to all of the podcast platforms in which you can listen to us each and every week on our website, and that is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, for yet another episode of Convincing Idiots, I am your millennial, Nicholas.
I'm the Zennial they call Dean.
Brian Gen X.
Have we slapped the shit out of you and convinced you to give your mother a call? Wish her a happy International Women's Month. Come on. Call your mother. Say your mother for me. Dean's gonna call my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you like that video? You know you did, and we know you did. So stop screwing around and go like that video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for some more.
Thank you for checking us out this week for Convincing Idiots. This week we have a. Come on, I'm not one tick. I can't even say one tick.
Come on.
Fuck y'all.
Sometimes those bright lights really they get to you. You know what I mean? Not everybody can perform. Not everybody can perform on that stage.
I can get intimate, huh?
There you go.